self-taught artist, and what that means is that I haven't gone to any school to learn everything it is that I do now to make a living in the world that I'm in. I'm a graphic artist, and that basically is someone who puts together visual identity and any kind of visual image for a brand, a person, or a product. So I specialize in making posters. I work with restaurants. I work with basically any kind of business that needs to put out something for people to see. So if you see posts, if you see billboards, if you see flyers, if you see on social media, you see kind of poster, that's what graphic designers do. We also do logos and work with brands to develop their brand identity. As long as we can see it, graphic designers are at the back of that. I've been working with graphic design for the past 5 years now, and I started, I guess, as an intern, just being interested in it for no real reason. I asked a friend of mine to introduce me to someone who was a graphic designer, and I interned with him for like a year or two before I started to do my own thing. So right now I'm a freelancer. It means I don't work with any company, but I work by myself and search out clients by myself. Now, on the other side of things, I'm also a multimedia experimental artist, and multimedia meaning that my mediums span across different things. I paint, I draw, I sculpt, I photograph, I make film, I use the internet as a medium. If I can use hair, I use it too. I'm not afraid to cross the boundaries of what art means. So I'm constantly looking for new ways to express myself, looking for new things to try. I've been working also as an artist for the past 5 years, and I had my first exhibition in 2015 at this place in Lagos Island called Freedom Park. I don't know if anybody knows where Freedom Park is. That exhibition came as a result of someone literally searching me out on my Instagram page and saying, I think you can do this. And over time, that has turned into this big affair that has now become my life. I've exhibited and started exhibiting in Lagos mainly. And since then, I have shown work across the world, as well as done residencies. Residencies are these programs that artists go out to do. They spend about a month to a year even, just creating work in a different place. I've done residency in South Africa in 2018. And earlier this year, I did one in Dubai in collaboration with the Art Dubai Art Fair. I've also shown work in France, I've shown work here in Nigeria, shown work in South Africa, in Dubai, and in America. What else? I guess I'm currently here in Lagos, and I still have a lot of projects that I'm working on. I do a lot of workshops with people, both young and old. I like to teach. I like to share my experiences. I like to bring people into the process of what it is that I'm doing. And that's it. That's it for me.
All right, amazing. Yeah, I can hear you. Amazing. All right. So you said you've been doing this for 5 years professionally, right?
Yes.
All right. So like in 5 years, you've achieved this much. In 5 years, you've had exhibitions in South Africa.
Yes.
I heard you say Dubai.
Yes.
That's like super amazing, right? So what keeps you going, basically?
So art for me it's my love, it's my life. I find that I have to do it, not in a obligatory kind of manner. I just find that it's what I enjoy. There's so much around the world that needs to be seen. There's so much about myself I am trying to understand every day, and art gives me that opportunity to answer those questions. It helps me relate with the next person. It helps me see things from a different angle. When life gets tough, I'm able to use it to, help me make things easier. I use painting to, express my love for the medium and also to represent what it is that I'm seeing. and also what it is that I'm imagining. There's a lot that's going on in my head a lot of
In your
times.
head.
I'm a vivid dreamer. I'm a vivid thinker. So all of those things have to come out in general, and that's what keeps me going. So it fits seamlessly in my life, and yeah, that's it pretty much.
All right, amazing. We're going to come back to you. Let's have Elo. All right, so basically, I want to believe that we have other young artists here who want to, you know, take up this as a profession. All right, so start getting your questions ready for Yadi, because we're going to come back to you, Yadi. All right, let's have Elo.
Hi guys. Hello panel. Hello my fellow speakers and every person that's inside this meeting now. Hope you're having a swell day. Okay, so my name is Elozonam Obolu, but I like to keep it Elozonam because brand, you know. I am a content creator, and I'll break that down. Producer, director, editor. I'm a sound engineer as well, a voiceover artist. Basically, the only thing I don't do with visuals is animate. I don't do animations. I think everything else I do. I studied economics in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, Ghana. I didn't do so well because, you know, economics. I got into the creative space when I finished school. And I was at a point in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I had certain hobbies, but I didn't know how to make money off of them. I just liked making music, and that's what I'll do my pastime. It was like a hobby for me. And I finished at NYC. I did my NYC in an investment bank. I mean, like me. Anyway, so I finished NYC and I got into advertising, luckily, and that was when I started finding myself and learning how to hone my skills and learning new skills as well. So I didn't go to school like Yadi. I didn't go to school for any of these things I know today. I'm self-taught, especially I use YouTube to learn a lot of things I know today. And that these things came as a result of me feeling having the need to fill a void, because I knew I wanted to express myself in different ways, not just music, but like how. And that's when I started learning how to create videos, how to do film. So in addition to the skill set I have, I'm also actually learning how to be a talk show host. I also have a talk show called The Cliffhanger that I've been running for 2 seasons now. So like I was saying, I had this need to express myself in different ways. So I learned how to edit videos, create videos, write scripts, and act. You know, so learning how to do those things gave me an avenue to be able to express myself with visuals, and that's what I really, 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 really like to do. So every skill set I have works in synergy with themselves. So I'm able to control the music, I'm able to control the visuals, I'm able to control the emotions, the story, everything. So yeah, so that's basically what I do. So I act, I produce, I direct, I do the voiceovers, I make music, I sing, I rap, like, geez, everything. Like, so yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. So I own a production house called Syzygy Multimedia. That's the production house where all the corporate work comes to. All the ads I shoot, they go through my production company. I also have a YouTube channel called Elozonam, obviously because brand. And yeah, so I have a twin brother who does animation and film, and I have a younger brother who does music, animation, and photography and art direction. So in my family, we're like creatives, and we learn from each other, and we help each other out when it comes to working together. So I can have a video now that I need animation for, and I get my twin brother on it. So or if I want to do like something for photography, I get my younger brother on it. So we help each other out and we learn from each other every time. So yeah, long story short. I can't hear you. Your mic is muted. Yeah. Yeah, good.
All right, thank you very much, Elo. We'll have you back. Well,
Okay.
I have questions already. All right, so when we come back, let's have Femi introduce himself.
Good
All
afternoon,
right,
everyone.
before hold on,
Okay,
Femi.
okay.
Before Femi
All right.
speaks, I need you to start sending. If you have any questions for anybody, I'm sure you've heard what they do individually. So if you have any questions for anybody, please kindly send them to me privately in the chat box, and would ask them once we'll start asking me. I also have some questions here I can't wait to ask. All right, so I hope that you're paying attention to learn. I mean, I have a book here. All right, so it would be nice if you can also get to learn something. All right, you have the floor.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My fellow speakers and our guests and the hosts. So, I'm Femi Bakre. I'm an electrical engineer by training. I studied electrical engineering at the University of Lagos, Akoka. And yeah, so after school, I worked as a software engineer intern at AppZone, and I quit my job after 3 months. I think I was always having constant headaches. I think that 9 to 5 life just wasn't for me, so I quit. Then come NYSC, I was a math teacher at the school, but the school didn't really need my services for whatever reason. I guess their schedule was very tight and they couldn't accommodate me. So I had like a whole year of just lazing around at home. So during that time, a friend and myself, we were trying to come up with like different business ideas, and the laziest idea was having a website where we curate funny content from the internet. So we started the website, then I started the social media, and that was like my very first time probably being consistent on social media. So I opened an Instagram account, so that was Cracks TV then. And like I had no knowledge about the internet, media, content. I just kept posting random stuff. Then I found that over time, I realized that over time I had a knack for it. So I learned, so just like every other person, I'm also self-taught. I'm a self-taught social media manager, self-taught content creator. I learned how to edit photos, how to edit videos, how to edit sound. So everything just, I just learned along the way. And then what kept me going was the fact that the numbers were growing. And I don't know, I was just addicted to the fact that numbers were growing. So I wake up every day, follow 1,000 people. The ones I don't follow, I'll follow them back in the evening. And I kept doing this. Throughout my NYC, I did this like every single day. I'll search for the best content. I'll also create content. And yeah, from there. So it just took, I think we had one video that went viral across Nigeria. A lot of celebrities reposted it, a lot of people reposted it. So that we started getting more followers. Then from there, the way you call the artists have bangers. So birthday, that's like so banger. But so every other week there was always a Cracks TV banger, and that I think we doesn't remain consistent like that for about a year or so, and that's how we were able to become a household brand within 1 year. So like I said, all this just happened by accident. It's not like I had it planned. I was just doing something. I was just doing something that I love doing. Like I totally enjoyed it. I enjoyed making people laugh, making people happy, and the feedback was positive and instant. So that kept me motivated. Then yeah, in 2016, we registered the brand as a formal business. So now from there, we've grown to a full-grown media brand with about 20 employees. Now we offer different services. We do advertising. So we amplify content first of all. So let's say a client has content they want to amplify on our platforms. We do that. If a client, we also connect brands to their target market. So let's say you have an idea, you're trying to push, so we come up with like different creative ideas and strategies to help you get your brand out there. We also manage talents. So we found that a lot of people have gained relevance or blown in quotes via our platforms. We have the likes of Tenny, the likes of, I don't know, and just name any popular social media influencer today. As long as the person is creative, they most likely have a connection with Cracks, because that's what we do. We just help blow people. So we've tried to create the business side to that. So we have like a bunch of talents on that. We do talent management. We do advertising, like I said. So we're also growing. We're looking to go into the Nigerian movie space. So fully by next year, next 2 years. So that's something we're working on. We create content, any kind of content, web series, skits, just from content. Our work is just to entertain people. think that's at the core of our brand, to entertain people and make people happy. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Forward to your question.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Femi. You said you followed. I think it's time for the questions. All right, so I think I can start. You said you followed about 1,000 people every day, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
How did you how did you make that happen? 1,000 is actually a lot. How exactly did you stay dedicated to following? So and then for how many days did you do that for? And what impact did that have on the growth of the brand? Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, when you open an account newly, no one knows about you. So I think I feel like everyone, I'm sure there are people that will be starting afresh or starting something new. I feel like your first set of followers or audience, those are your personal followers. So what I did was I promoted the brand heavily on my own personal platform. So if you check Cracks today, like our first set of followers were people that knew me. So one thing I did, it was kind of strategic. So I saw there's some established platforms back then. We had like Fun African Pigs, only in Nigeria, people that had started long before us and were already popular. So what I used to do then was anytime they post content, as soon as they post it, I'll just start. Any people that comment on their post, I'll just start following them. So those are people that are active at that particular point in time. So people that are commenting at that point in time, just make sure I follow every single one of them. Yeah, so it was very strategic because so that's how I would follow a lot of people. I think, and then Instagram was fairly new, so there weren't a lot of restrictions, because now there are a lot of anti-spam restrictions. You can't follow 1,000 people like that.
No.
You can't do that now. So there are a lot of things that was allowed to do back then, like follow a lot of people. I had a lot of applications that I downloaded on my phone that let me know people that were following me or not following me back. Now they've stopped most of those apps. So I just took advantage of all the resources that were available to me at the time.
And then what was the impact of this on the brand? Like from following 1,000 people every day, how many followers did you get back in a day?
Okay, so the thing is, of course, so I think the first part was I ensured that I had that we had like I don't know, good content on the platform. Yes, because you don't want people coming to your platform and not find anything worth their while. Do you understand? So I did my own work. I ensured that okay, when people come on this platform, they are going to stay here. So I think if you follow 1,000 people, at least 400, 300 would follow back. That was back then. I think people should even be more generous nowadays, because now people follow, people don't care about those things. But back then, at least if you follow 1,000 people, at least 300 to follow back. So now after like every single day for like a whole year, so you can see the multiplier effect. But then the content is the main steal. Yeah, that's the main thing. If you don't have good content, people will unfollow you or people will not follow you back. So we just ensure that we created awesome content that people are interested in.
Everybody has mentioned self-taught, right? Everybody has mentioned, oh, I was self-taught. I was self-taught as well. I didn't go to any school that taught me how to be on the radio. I mean, initially. So what exactly is the self-taught process? How does that work? What happens when you are being self-taught? What's the process like?
What's the question?
Okay, so
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear.
Oh no, Femi, you can speak though. I was
going to go to Elu, but
let's
go.
Let Elu go. It's fine.
All right. Okay. So self-taught, yeah. So this is the things that everything I've learned. This is how it came about. So when we're much younger, I think I was 13 then or so. 13, yeah. My dad provided us with a computer, and he had Windows 95 back then. I don't know how many people here know Windows 95, but Windows 95 is an archaic Windows operating system. So he bought it for us, and we installed games, Fruity Loops, Poser 3 back then. All these are old software that we used to learn how to make music. We used to learn how to animate and basically sharpen our minds. So that's what happened back then. So we didn't have access. There was no YouTube back then. We didn't have access to any of these learning platforms. So we just started experimenting up and down the place with the computer. So, and I guess that was the aim of him buying us the computer, just to explore and discover, you know. So we shipped to school and we got computers again, and we started learning. And this thing was play. It was just play, like we're just playing and we're just, you know, having fun. That was as we're playing, we're learning. Fast forward to more recent times, there was, but this self-taught thing comes as a result of a need to feel to achieve something. I remember when I was in my 9-to-5 job, I was in advertising. I was an audiovisual producer. So all these radio ads and TV ads you hear and TV ads you see, I was involved with them heavily, especially MTN commercials from about 2013 to 2018. The bulk of the MTN commercials, especially radio and TV, were done by me and my team. So at some point I was running away from actually getting down to creating videos, but the more I ran away from it, the more I realized I needed to get it done. So one day I took like a 1-week leave and went home, stayed in front of my computer for 3 days, downloaded about 5 YouTube videos, basic editing. Because I already had the basic knowledge in audio editing, visual editing was a breeze. So I just downloaded a few videos and did a crash course. 3 days. That's how long it took me to learn how to start editing videos. So that's what it was. So I just went to YouTube, got some tutorial videos, and learned. That's the definition of self-taught for me. That's how I got to, yeah. And that's how I'm learning till today. YouTube.
I mean, there's a lot of resources on YouTube. I remember the first time I ever tried to learn how to edit videos with Final Cut. Like, you would legit type Final Cut 101 and you would see
1,000 videos.
Like videos, resources to help
yes
learn. So there's a lot of things to learn from YouTube. All right, amazing story. Let's have Yadi. Yadi, what does self-taught mean to you? How exactly did you teach yourself to be the professional artist that you are today? Yadi.
Okay, hi. So similarly to what Elo has said, especially the part where he says it's really just play, right? And you're following that need to enjoy something, enjoy the moment. With being self-taught, there's so many resources. There isn't just YouTube, there's even just the bare internet. There's Google search. Literally, if you search, how can I paint an eye? It's going to give you so many resources of that result. If you search, how do I sew this dress? You're going to get so much material. And I think I was born in that time where the digital became quite a thing. So we're always on computers, we're always on phones, looking at things, looking at work, looking at people work. There's also, I think when I realized I was interested in, say, graphic design, then I realized, okay, I would like to do this more seriously. Maybe I should go work with someone. And I followed that without having too many expectations or blockages of, oh, would this be nice? Will I do it well? Because that's the point of learning something. You're not a professional when you go into learning anything. You just have to go very open. And so meeting my life experience with that curiosity of, how does this work? And going to find it. And everywhere. You find it from people with interning. At some point, I interned at a place called Terra Culture. That was my first place that I interned in. It's a theater, restaurant, library space somewhere here in VI. And there I learned so much about working on stage with people, and I didn't have to be perfect at it. So it's about inserting yourself into like specific experience so you get something that's specific out of it. If you feel like you want to, if you're interested in clothes and style and design, maybe you should go sit with a tailor. If you're interested in electronics, maybe you need to sit with an electrician, you know, but it doesn't have to be this standardized formal thing that happens in school. So it's that you just go towards it. And luckily for us, right, everybody has access to the internet. There's so much on there. That's where lots of my learning really happens also. If I can't go to it, travel via virtual space and digital media.
Amazing, amazing. All right. So Femi, very quickly, right? So, I mean, let's go to school now. Everybody here, in fact, all the speakers and including myself, we studied school isn't what we're doing now. I mean, I studied psychology, from building tech, from building technology to psychology, and now I am presenting. All right. So I want to ask, and I'm sure there's some people here that are wondering, how important is school to what you do with your life, basically professionally? How important is school? Because I personally, I had to sit down and write and outline things that school contributed to my progress or to becoming what I am today. I had to actually take notes, right? So at some point, I felt like it wasn't necessary. I felt like I didn't need to go to school to go and do all these things that I'm doing, because I was studying psychology, and what I really wanted to do was be behind a microphone in a radio station or in front of cameras, right? That's what I wanted to do, and I wasn't doing it. So what has school impacted? What impact has school made in your career choice now? Yeah.
Shall I?
Okay, so
No.
I think.
Femi, let's hear from you.
Okay.
okay.
So,
Sorry, Yadi. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so
Femi, yeah, go ahead.
okay, okay, all right. Thank you, Larry. Very brilliant question. So I feel the importance of school is to teach people how to learn. I feel like school is just where you learn how to learn. In the basic. Oh, there's a lot of background noise somewhere. Okay. So second of all, I feel like school is where you go to build your network. Like in this day and age, you can't. No man is an island. Do you understand? Like you might be the baddest guy ever lived at anything, but if you don't have a support system, people to push your skills to, people that can help you promote or get you jobs, you can't really go far. So, but I feel like at school, you would have, in those 3-4 years, you would have built a very strong network. Do you understand? Like someone's son, someone's daughter. I'm sure I have friends now. They all work in banks and different industries. Like you can't. I don't think that's something you can get on your own. So another thing is school helps you think analytically, because I'm sure there are a lot of courses that we've taken. Some that are related to our courses, like our major courses. Some that are more like auxiliary courses per se. So I don't know. School. I wouldn't downplay school. Of course, it might not be what I'm practicing now, but I still feel school is important. So, Larry, I'm done.
All right, amazing. Elo. Is Elo here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, listen, I'm here. So we're hearing. What's school? How has school impacted? What was the impact that school had? Is it even compulsory? Like, do you really have to go to school at the end of the day?
So
if
what
you
Femi
have
said
YouTube.
So yeah, I mean, what Femi said is very, 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 very apt. Like I couldn't have put it better myself. School would help you build a network, because you need a network. You need people to know you and know what you can do in order to grow. You know, school would help you think analytically and learn, because I don't know, like learning is hard. If you don't know how to learn, it's going to be difficult for you. Learning is very, very hard, and and it's also for proper social development. I think that school helps, besides just formal education. There's also informal education in school. You learn from being around other people. You share ideas. You eventually find out who you are when you're socializing with everybody else. So you need that foundation. It's fundamental to your growth as a human being, and with whatever it is you want to do in life. Because without school, I wouldn't have known that the thing I call a hobby I can actually use to make money, or people actually like my work. How was I going to share my work if I wasn't in school? How was I going to get different opinions from people about how to better my craft if I wasn't in school, if I wasn't exposed to that environment, you know? So school, you cannot knock school. Again, my father always says, get your degree, that's your fallback option. Then when you come out, you can do whatever you want to do. So once you have that degree in the bag, you know you. For me now, yeah, I read economics. I can categorically tell you that I have never done anything economically related in my career. That does not mean economics hasn't helped me with my day-to-day financial decisions or just trying to make better, efficient choices in life. Right? I can't even overemphasize. I didn't do well in economics, but I learned. I know I learned quite a few things that are helping me make better choices today in life. So you cannot knock school. School is a very, very important part of learning, of development, of growth. Boom.
Amazing. Yadi, can we hear from Yadi?
Yes. Hi.
No.
As they have said, also, it's very, very aptly. I think that oftentimes, especially in the creative industry, school is kind of like a bit demonized. Like, oh, we don't need that. You know, it's not really necessary. But it's absolutely not true. Like, school it's become a system. It's become a very, very big system of things over time. And as with all systems, there are flaws, but then there are also advantages, right? And it has a really, really huge advantage. It really does help you learn. It really gives you the first basic idea of what society is. You know, in that little kindergarten that you're going to, you get to meet so many different kinds of people. You get to learn ABC. All the English I'm speaking is school. Really, it's because I've interacted with so many different kinds of people. I've seen so many different kinds of personalities. I'm exposed to different kinds of problems, whether they're math problems or they're English problems. All of those give you an edge on like really integrating into the larger society, right? And that's really what it gives you. It makes sure that you know how to move on with life, even when you don't have to do it in a group dynamic. Like, even if no one is watching you, right? It helps you, it gives you that, let's say, confidence to know that, okay, so me as an artist, there's a lot that I know about self-directing learning that has come from the fact that I know how to sit down in one place and do something, right? As opposed to just leaving things to, as opposed to just leaving things to be. You still need to burn the midnight oil while you're painting. You need to put in that work, and you learn a lot of that, all of those basic things from reading
school.
for your exams, from school, right? Of course, it doesn't mean that it's the only way, and I think that's where the misconception is now, is that, okay, if you don't have school, life doesn't work out for you that way. And that's what I think on the creative end of things, it tries to open us up to that idea that, yes, you can have this, and you can also have that. But understand that nothing is wasted in a sense. No knowledge is wasted. That's the thing that's commonly said. And those are my thoughts about school really. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Yadi. So let's go to growing up, right? Did you know that this is what you always wanted to do? And at what age did you discover that? Yeah, Yadi.
No, kind of a big no to that question. I didn't always know that I wanted to do this. I would think about it many times because I just had the predisposition. My mom always gives this story where she said, as a child, as she was carrying me in her arms, like a tap will be running, and I start to like move, you know, like I'm just dancing to any single tune. Or when I was a baby and I saw Lego as a game, I wanted to like always, my hands were always doing something. But it wasn't until like, I think a few years ago that I decided that, and I think especially in 2017, a lot of things happened. I started showing my work in 2015, but that wasn't like, it wasn't even something I was intentionally doing. I was just following on my passion, right? But in 2017, I had a very intentional exhibition where I actually put in the work and I made this. And I remember realizing then that, whoa, this is actually where I want to be, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Throughout then, before this past couple of years, I was trying to aspire to be an architect. It was kind of what the family wanted on a level, but it wasn't what I truly felt like I resonated with. There were things that it gave me pursuing that dream, but what gave me the fullness of who I am, and the ability to really just feel comfortable in myself is art. Yes, and that realization is something that comes built over time. It didn't happen like in a sudden war moment. I used to have moments where I would struggle with myself, like, is this what I should do? Is this, am I doing it just because it's easy, or is the way out? You know, so you go through questions with yourself, and at some point, if you keep on working at it, it delivers. It also gives back. That's the thing. If you put in time, if you put in the effort, it gives back to you. And it gave a lot to me that I was drawing every now and then, painting every now and then. It made me feel like, oh yes, this is my own. And yeah.
This is your own.
Yes.
Yeah. So like for me, right, how I clicked it and said, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Right. It was when I had already gotten the radio job, right? I already got the job at the radio station in January. And then months after, I felt like, okay, now I have the radio, I have the job, what's next? What's now that I have the job, right? I've been training for this all my life, and now I'm here. The fact that I kept on going there, I mean, the questions were only asked before I got to the microphone, but the fact that I got to the microphone and immediately I put it on, I still flow with it. And then people calling and say, yo, that was an amazing show, right? And I go home and my mom is being a fan, which she's supposed to be, right? She's been a fan, and all of those encouragements, all of those things and honestly, I also learned that everybody seeks validation in some way. All right. So those things just validated, you know, my thoughts. Those things validated my, oh, this is what it validated my uncertainty. All right. That's the word. All right. So let's hear from Femi. Femi. Is Femi here?
Thanks, Lanre. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So Femi, you studied electrical
electronics engineering.
Electrical electronic engineering, EIE. Hey, my goodness. And I know how tough that is. I know how you can only do that at once. You cannot. I don't think people multitask in those kinds of courses, right?
No, you can't. No.
So how did you seal it up? Like, why didn't you look at those years? How many years did you spend? 5 years.
I think six years if you include the ASU strike. I think there was strike in first year, strike in fifth year. Yes, it's a 5-year course, but then it's stretched to 6 years.
How did you ignore 6 years? All right, so how did you ignore all of that hard work that you put into that course and just said, okay, I better let degree go sit down. Let me just focus on this. How did you? I know money was money a motivation.
No.
Was money a motivation?
Money has never been a motivation for me. Just even add to the whole living. Like, I finished the first class. I also top of my university, like my university sets. So the thing is, I'm someone.
You are the valedictorian.
Yes, I was the valedictorian. So after school, everyone expected me to get a master's, PhD, become a professor. But I think what works for me is, that's what I realized about myself. At every point in time, I like doing whatever it is I'm passionate about or interested in. I don't like, dancing to the tune or opinions of others, or playing to the gallery. No. I just like to do what I love doing, and I find like I get success from doing things that I love, things that come to me like naturally, things that I love doing genuinely. That's things I succeed at. So it's only like I chose to abandon all my years of electrical engineering and doing solving drawing circuit diagrams and all. Trust me, those 5 years, those 6 years were one of the toughest of my life. My master's was crazy. But like I say, it just comes down to passion. Do you understand? Like, what are you passionate? I say after school, after I got the degree and everything, I think during NYC, when I saw how the whole crack was going, I just fell in love with the whole content and media space. Yeah, like it just showed me a new side of myself that I truly love. And another thing is, there's no final destination because I'm even right now, I'm still at that point where I'm trying to discover more things about myself. Like I'm trying to learn. I'm even learning how to code now. I'm learning what's it called, the UI UX design. Like these are things I've always wanted to do. So I'm still even trying to find other things I'm passionate about. So it's a continuous journey. Do you understand? But my advice to everyone is just do what you're passionate about. Of course, there's always the pressure of, oh, will it bring in money? Right? I don't think money should be the motivating, the major factor. Do you understand? Like money will come when you're able to. Money will come when you do things you love. But that's my own philosophy in life. But it might not be the same for everyone. Hello, are you there?
Motivation.
Is Lanre there? I don't know.
Lanre is frozen for everyone. All right, so you mentioned talent, right? Do you think they're the same? Can you hear? Hey, God. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, you mentioned passion, right? And the question now is there a difference between your passion and your talent? Do you think there's a difference between passion and talent?
Of course there is. Case study, Ronaldo, Messi. Messi is talented. You know, I feel like talent is what you're naturally blessed with. You understand? Your passion is what you're naturally interested in, or whatever it is that you're interested in. So of course there's a difference. You might be interested in something, but you're not gifted at that thing. Do you understand? But I feel like your passion will fuel your focus and your willingness to want to learn that thing. So yeah, that's the difference that I can think of.
Okay, let's hear from Elozonam. Elozonam, yeah. What do you think is the difference between your passion and your talent?
Yeah, there's a difference. I mean, you can be passionate about something and not naturally gifted at it. So you can use that passion to actually work towards being good at that thing, because you're a human being. You are. It's natural. We are programmed to learn, to be able to learn. So you can actually have that drive to want to learn something and eventually learn. Now, a talented person would have to just put very minimal effort and they will get it done. The difference is just effort in getting things done. A talented person would use minimal effort to get something done. Meanwhile, somebody who's passionate would work hard 24/7 will have to work harder for it, but they can get there. Like you said, Messi and Ronaldo, although I don't know if I agree with the analogy, but let's just say I agree.
Why don't we agree?
Let's just say I agree. Let's just say Messi is the talented one and Ronaldo is the hardworking one. You can see that they're more or less they have a cult following. So while Messi has the talent, Ronaldo has the passion for the work and is a hard worker, visibly hardworking. You can see that they're both very, very. They're basically called.
They are on
the same level.
They are both goats in their own way.
Exactly. So that's the difference between passion and talent. If we're to use those examples, that's the difference. Yeah, but I feel like a talented person also still needs to put in a hefty amount of work to be able to not lose that talent, because you can be born with something, and if you don't hone that particular skills, you lose it. You will lose it. Yeah. That's the guarantee. You will lose it. So people who are talented always have to remember that hard work still pays. Period.
So would you say what you have now is a mixture of both? What you're doing now?
Me,
a mixture
yes.
Of both of them. Talent and your.
It's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both, because I feel like if you ask me now, what are my talents? I would say I'm a creative person. All encompassing. I'm a creative person. Yeah. But that's because I have been surrounded by creative people. I have been in that space and I've had the passion for these types of things. There are some things that I'm passionate about, but like I don't really know how to do. But if I put in a hefty amount of work and time, I would eventually get there. There's some things that just come naturally, like that. So yeah, so I feel like for me it's a mixture of both, because I love what I do. I love the talents I've been blessed with, so I will actually put in a hefty amount of work to be able to grow my skills. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. All right, thank you very much, Elozonam. Let's go to Yadi. Yadi, I'm sure that it hasn't all been roses. I'm sure you didn't just wake up one morning and start, showcasing in Dubai and all over the world, right? I'm sure you didn't just wake up. It didn't just happen for you, right? So what were the hiccups? What problems, what challenges did you face, in getting to that level, that stage where, you started showing in Dubai and all over the world? Yadi.
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
This question is going to go around, so yeah.
No problem. So I think when I started out with my work, because I didn't particularly seek it out, I didn't seek out the opportunity to show my work. I just was persistent with keeping it out there. It was always on my Instagram. If I could put it on Tumblr, I put it out on Tumblr. So in the first few, maybe like for 2 years with doing my work, it was very easy because it felt like, oh, this opportunity then led to another. And then I met people here that said, oh, I like this. And then it led to another. And the work just kept on like rolling out because I wasn't like trying to seek out much. But it did get to a point where you now realize that, yes, so the opportunity is coming, but do you even have enough drive to keep it going, right? And I think that's the constant battle and the battle that I often face, where you really have to work on honing that persistence, even when nothing is happening, even when it's a dry spell and you have no exit funds, and it's a month where the money that came in the last month is pretty much quarter of the sum that is coming in now. You have to still figure out ways to let that out. So I find that, say, sometimes if I couldn't afford, say, certain materials to make the work, if it was much more difficult to make work with canvas, right, I went to paper. If it was much more, if I couldn't have access to those things, then I went to my phone and I recorded stuff, or I took videos, I took pictures easily. So it's about adapting and exercising that power to adapt to any kind of situation, knowing that you are not, that the scarcity is really an illusion, really. You don't have it later, and you have to really believe that on a very deep level, that if you don't have something now doesn't mean that there isn't something within the experience that you're meant to learn from, or that there isn't something that you can, be an alchemist of and turn, sand into gold. Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're back.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So thank you very much. So for me, right, let me just share like my story, how I got to this point where I am on radio, right? So basically it was after NYC in 2018. I finished school. When I went to NYC, please let's not forget I studied psychology. Before psychology, I studied building. Then I wasn't doing well. I'm still going to ask Elozonam some questions because okay. So I graduated with psychology. Then I got a job at a tech media company. So I usually tell people, when people ask me, what do you guys do? I say we are the CNN of the tech world. Okay, so basically we cover tech events, give information on tech happenings all over the world, and media that I used to present and upload. And this with my life, my life was work at a radio station. Prior to this, I had worked at Inspiration FM for 2 summers. In my school, I was working at the radio station every now and then. Right, for all my years in school, even when I failed, I was still working. I was still working in the radio station, right? So all of that experience just really made me want to be that radio presenter. So I was doing the show with Tech City, that's the name of the company, and I was very tired. I just felt like, man, I'm not doing what I want to do in my life. And I started applying for jobs at other places. By the end of 2019, which was the end of NYC, I said to myself, I'm not going to be working at this place anymore. I'm not going to be working at Tech City. If I don't get a radio job, and guess what? Let me even tell you, I've been applying for radio jobs since 300 level. since I was in 300 level. I've been sending my demos to people, to radio stations in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt. I've been sending my demos to people, begging them to just give me a chance, even if it's to intern. Do you get? So I'd applied to a lot of radio stations, and I said, okay, if I don't get a radio job, I'm going to leave Tech City, and whatever comes, what I'm going to do. So I left. I said I was going to leave Tech City by January 5th, right? I was still working in Tech City, and then I was sitting down somewhere. Oh, I applied to some accounting firm that I wanted to become an accountant. Yeah, I didn't study accounting, but I applied. I applied to I applied to a bank. Yeah, I applied to 50 jobs in a month. I applied to 50 different jobs in a month, and none of those jobs called me back for an interview until January 8th, when one randomly called me and said I should come for interview. But I already had my radio job at the time, so I'm like, not really. So January came, and I mean, in December 9th, I'll never forget, I was sitting at the airport waiting for my cousin to come back, and then I get a call saying, oh, would you like to work at a radio station to host the drive time show? I'm like, would I like to work at a radio station? I would love to work at a radio station. So that's it, man. So I went there the next day, and I sent them a podcast. Now I'm going to emphasize on certain things that everybody here has said that relates to my story. All right, preparation and being intentional. So I had a podcast that I was doing already, even if I didn't have a radio job. I had a podcast that I was producing with my little knowledge in Adobe Audition that I learned from interning, right? So I had a podcast I was producing. So I played it to the head of programs, and he listened to the podcast, and he's like, okay, he's coming. So he went to meet the MD, and he came back and he's like, oh yeah, so the thing about radio is, it's a job of passion. I was listening to him, I'm like, yo, is that why you called me, to tell me what I know about radio already? And next thing is like, so basically we want you to come and start tomorrow. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? This was me saying, oh yeah, I didn't want to do this anymore. So, I mean, at that point, I was like, okay, so I can't start tomorrow. I have to go back and resign from the other job first. So I went to resign, and then here I was. They said I was going to start. Actually, I started doing the drive time show, and it was weird because I had not done really in Lagos, and then I get a radio job, and the first thing in the evening, literally going home and listening to radio. So it was really huge for me. And then, I mean, they looked at it and they were like, this one just started. I mean, I understand for their ratings and for all of that, they had to move me down. So, okay, wait first. They gave me 2 weeks to do that. And in 2 weeks, honestly, I feel like I killed it, honestly. And then, they were like, oh, because of this, which I understand, right? I had to come down and then, do the midday show, which is also amazing. All right, so basically, what I want you to learn from here is, you see those times when I ignored, when I was forming, oh, this media thing is not for me, I'm going to go, and I feel like it was God preparing me, or it was the preparation stage, right? It was my preparation stage, which a lot of young people ignore. The times when you are interning, I mean, for Yadi, when she was interning, for Elozonam, when he was interning as well, for Femi, when he was, in his NYC and meeting those people. You see, those times, it's easy to ignore the process and be looking at the bigger goal that you have set in front of you. So I just want us to understand, right, that there is a process to getting to where you want to be. We are not, we can all say that we are not where we want to be, right? But, living our dreams as children, whatever we wanted to really be, right, is nothing is as beautiful as being where you want to be. All right. So that being said, I hope that I have been, because somebody said I should tell my story. So I just wanted to chip that in here. And I hope that has, helped you learn one or two things. All right. So, let's hear from Elozonam. Elozonam, can you come back? I want to ask you a very, very important question. So, for you, you said you didn't do well in school. Now, how did your parents? You said you said that you didn't do it in the economics. You said, like, how did your parents handle that? And I know you would have played some powerful mind games here with you. So how do you handle that?
So like, okay, so when I mean, your parents are your parents. They know you, right? They've lived with you all your life. I mean, for those who stay with their parents, they've lived. So my parents knew who I was. I initially got admitted into my university for law. My dad was like, "Elo, you can't study law. You don't have the attention span to just sit through and study. You just don't. It's not an insult. It's just, I know who you are. You just don't have the attention span. So go for something that requires less from you, you know." And he advised me to do economics because economics would provide much larger opportunities for me in life if I read economics. I said, okay, cool. And I went and did economics. Now, naturally, I wasn't good at math. And economics had a ton of math.
Yeah.
A lot of math and economics had so much math that there were now letters in the math. There were now Greek alphabets in the math. And your boy was just dead in the water. Right? And plot twist, the mathematics aspect is the easiest part of economics. Plot twist. And I didn't discover that until my final years. Like, that was actually the harder part is when you have to explain economic behavior in relation to demand and supply. And look, your boy was dead in the water. So I was in school with 2 degrees in my first 2 years. So it was economics and sociology, because social sciences you have to do 2 degrees. When I got into the school, they now created a rule that in your 3rd year you have to major, but people usually graduated with 2 degrees. So I majored in economics. I should have just gone with sociology, but you know what? Things happen for a reason. And I was in school, and I was failing. I wasn't doing well. My twin brother was doing fantastic because he studied architecture and he was naturally an artist, you know. So he was in his zone, but I was failing. And because of the fact that I didn't want to tell my parents, I felt like I could handle everything by myself. I could do it I could get it done. I could finish and everything. I didn't want to let my parents know what was going on. So my elective courses, my auxiliary courses, I would do something like dance and the guitar, and I would excel. I was getting straight A's in those courses.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying close enough attention to know that, okay, those were my core strengths, right? Being a creative, because I was acing, I was literally showing off in class, because that's where I could flex. Everywhere else I would just hide because I didn't know anything, you know. So eventually my dad was tired because I spent a lot of years in school that I was not supposed to have spent, and he just wanted to know what was going on, because, like, come on, like, really, dude, come on. So my dad came down to school, saw my lecturers, and they told him the problem, and we put certain things in place to fix the problem, and I graduated. My dad wasn't harsh, wasn't too hard on me. They just wanted me to finish school and just come out. My parents knew I wasn't stupid. They knew I was a very, very intelligent person, but I was just doing what I didn't like to do. And there's no matter how, you cannot force it. You can try your best, but once your mind is not there, it's not there. For real. I tried. I put in my best. I tried, but economics wasn't for me. If I was studying a creative course like audio engineering or film or something, I would have my entire mind would be there. I probably would have graduated with the first class, no cap. But I was doing economics, and I didn't see myself working in a bank. I didn't see myself working in the corporate sector. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. And to be very honest, that's okay. A lot of people don't even know what they want to do when you turn 30. It's actually okay. I just didn't know. If I had known, you know, I won't be on this path now. But again, things happen for a reason. The universe, God has a plan for you. You just ride along with the plan, you know. So my parents they didn't give me a hard time. They just wanted me to just get it over and done with and move on to the next phase of my life. And my dad came around, did what he needed to do, saw my lecturers, had a good talk with them, put certain things in place. And the following semester or year I graduated. And that was it. But after that, I just never looked back. at economics. I didn't even want to do a master's degree. No, I was done with formal education. It was time for me to learn the things I wanted to do, and that's when I started teaching myself. Yeah.
All right. So for parents, I don't know if there's any parents here. So for parents that are here, we know that in Nigeria we don't have these creative courses, right? Elozonam, we don't have these creative courses in Nigeria running. I mean, except you want to go to Nigerian Institute of Journalism to study broadcasting. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you come to anywhere with that, they literally look at you and say, that's not very good.
Yeah.
But hey, how can parents help their kids, through that school time when they're like, oh, fam, I really cannot do this, right? They try everything and they really can't do it. How can parents help their children?
One thing I would say is, and I feel like parents, especially our parents in my time, were guilty of, right? I feel like a lot of parents don't have a deeper personal relationship with the kids, enough for their kids to talk to them about certain things, right? Yes, parents pay attention. They have to pay attention. You naturally pay attention to your child if you love them, but like, even if you pay attention, you cannot see everything. If you don't have you have your father-daughter or father-son or whatever, mother-daughter relationship, but you also sometimes you have to be their friend, because that's the only way you can get some types of information out of them that on a normal day they will not tell you. So it all comes down to knowing who your child is, what they like to do, and exposing them to many things so they can make the choices for themselves. Do you get? Do you understand? So that's what my dad did. He exposed us to a bunch of stuff. My parents, we read a lot of books growing up. Like I feel like maybe that sometimes I tell myself I was all tapped out with reading. That's why I could not study in university, because I read a lot of books growing up, and I was able to sharpen my mind, my vocabulary, everything. Because my mom always provided, from Archie comics to Grimm's fairy tales to Arabian Nights to Shakespeare to everything. Harry Potter, we read everything. My mom provided us books. My dad provided us computers. So we were able to actually go around, expose our minds and sharpen our minds and be able to say, okay, this is what we wanted to do. Because we all started out doing the same thing. All three of us. We started out making music. But somewhere along the line, because of the freedom we had to explore, my twin brother branched out into film and animation. My younger brother branched out into animation and music. I stayed with film and music. So we all focused on different aspects because we were allowed that choice. We were allowed to explore. What do you want to do? What makes you happy? If as a parent, I see you doing certain things and you're smiling, you're laughing, you enjoy these things, how would I contribute to your growth? What am I supposed to provide you with? If you like to construct with Lego, okay, fine, I'll provide you with a lot of Lego blocks. Do your thing. Okay, do you want to go into building and construction? Okay, inject it, that type of. So I feel like parents need to actually pay attention and have a more personal relationship with their kid, so that their kids can actually be able to tell them, okay, this is what I want to do. And the world is changing so fast.
Super fast.
Need to know,
yes,
so fast that things that you knew before, you have to unlearn and relearn certain things. And parents need to be very, very aware that a child that wants to study music can change the world tomorrow. It doesn't mean that there's no money in music, or the chances that you would blow would be slim. Just pay attention to your kid and know what they like and provide them with the resources to learn. Period.
All right, thank you very much, Lou. Very, very apt. All right, let's hear from Femi. Same question, Femi. Is Femi here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so same question. What do parents need to do? I mean, to help support the children, because we know how these things can be. Now, I want to become like Elozonam. I want to be making videos. Come on, get in their books. I want to know that Elozonam went to school. This is not me making jest on parents. I'm just saying, we know how these things go. So, Femi, what do you think parents need to do better?
Okay, so I think Yadi and Elo have already said. I don't know. They said it all, in my opinion. But what I think times have changed. That's what parents need to understand. And I don't even think we need to. I say maybe people that are not paying attention to the world dynamics now. I think back in the day, how people were making money was you go to school, get a job. Yes, and so that's like that's why they probably raised most of us to follow that same line. But now you're seeing people that didn't even go to school becoming richest people on earth and making like impact. Now you're seeing the world giving attention to different careers and different talents. So yeah, that's like now even with the internet, people have become overnight stars. So yeah, just parents understanding that the dynamics have changed. I think we're in the age of projects now. I know, you know, projects like Project Mbappe, Project Serena. So now, like I said, how do you work on a project? It's more like exposing your child to different things. You get expose them to computers, see if it's their thing. Expose them to football, basketball, tennis. Like I have a daughter that I gave birth to in May, and trust me, she's going to do everything. Do you know? So I'm not going to box. I'll do everything because I feel like my job as a parent is to help my child discover herself. Do you understand? Help her find her talents. Because I don't think, just like that. That's my job. Yeah, not to box her into any career or degree. No. It's just to let her try as many things as possible. Because I really love Elo's story. And what Elo needs to, trust me, Elo, you have to thank every day you wake up, pray for your parents and thank them, because it's not everyone it's not everyone that had that luxury. Do you understand?
Parents.
Because some people actually have the natural intuition, like as a child, like oh, let me try this and that. But some people actually need the guidance of someone, and I feel like that's what a lot of people they have. Do you understand? So, Elo, thank your stars for your parents. Do you understand? I thank my stars for my parents too, because they exposed me to a lot of things myself. So I'm really thankful for my parents I have. But I feel like as the new generation, the goal is not to make the same mistakes our parents made. Do you understand? So yeah, we just have to do parenting differently. We have to expose our children to as many things as possible and help them be the best versions of themselves. Whatever it is they want to do, we have to support them all through.
Amazing. All right. So like I said, if you have any questions for any of the panelists, please kindly send in your questions. All right. Let me take one question that I have here. I think it's for Elo. Elozonam, can we have you here, man? It says, my question goes to Elozonam. First of all, hey, all the way from Kenya. We have been fans since Big Brother. My question, however, is as a script writer, how do you walk through writer's block? This is a very wonderful question. How do you find and she has two questions. So one, how do you walk through writer's block? Two, how do you find the motivation to finish a script and make it stand out?
Okay, so first of all, thank you all the way from Kenya. Thank you so much. Writer's block is a problem. It's a problem, and I feel like writer's block comes as a result of overworking your mind sometimes. When you've written like a lot of projects, like your mind just hasn't had time to rest. You get. So one way I deal with my writer's block is I take away myself from the work. I just step back from the work. I just leave it alone and expose my mind to other things. Maybe watch some movies, watch some series, go out and get some fresh air and expose myself to everything and anything at all that can actually pull me out of that state. That's typically how I deal. Now, some people you can be more intentional about it, dealing with your writer's block. And you can actually read other people's materials. You can get, because a lot of ideas are not original. You can actually borrow ideas from different places on how to solve your problem, how to write maybe an ending or a plot twist or whatever. So you can be more intentional about it. You can watch other people's work or you can read other things, right? But me, I don't try to force it. I just take a step back and breathe, or I seek help with other writers. Oh, hey, I have this problem. How do you think I should develop the story? How do you think the story should go? Blah 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 blah. Or what do I write about? Because sometimes the writer's block can come from the very beginning, developing the entire story. What kind of story do you want to tell? What kind of emotion do you want to get out of them? So you can be more intentional. But I just take a step back and just leave it and keep it at the back of my mind somewhere, so that it's conscious. It's there in my mind. So sometimes the solution hits me. Like I can't tell you how many times something has come to me in my sleep. I won't even lie. So that's what happens when something is constantly on your mind. Once it's in your mind or on your mind, unconsciously the problem starts to solve itself sometimes, and it comes to you in your sleep. But if you want to be more intentional, get help or watch other people's stuff or read up other people's material. That's how to be more intentional for Misha. And then the second question is, what's the second question?
The second question is, how do you find the motivation to finish a script and make it stand out?
Okay, so, man, that's another thing, yeah. I think motivation comes sometimes I'm so unmotivated because maybe if I create something and it doesn't get like the response that I think it deserves, and I'm unmotivated, I go through a phase where I don't create. I just do other stuff and I don't create. But like at some point for me, and this is what happens to me, at some point I get motivated again because I feel like I have to get back to what I love doing, because if I love doing this thing, I don't see why I should be away from it for that long. So I don't know. I find motivation, and again, I also go and watch people that inspire me. I expose myself to them. So I follow a lot of people on Instagram and on YouTube, and I see the amazing stuff they do. So I just go and watch what they do. I just binge. Somewhere, somehow, the motivation comes. By the time I see maybe King Batch has released a new video, or Logan Paul has released a new video, or like there's a new Marvel movie out, especially these superhero movies, they're the ones that motivate me a lot. Like when I see what they do, what they're able to achieve, like how they think, okay, how did you get from here to here? How did you achieve this? I'm now inspired and motivated again to finish up a project. That's it. So I expose myself to other people's works, and that's how I have come. That's how it started for me, right? So I always go back to how it started for me. Why did I start this in the first place? I see other people do what they do. I think this is so cool. I can do this too, you know? So when I hit that point where I'm unmotivated, I go back to why I started. And I watch everybody that inspires me, and I'm good again.
Amazing. All right. Thank you very much, Elozonam. Yadi, can we have you back here? So Yadi, how important is it to have a role model, and a mentor? In fact, first of all, what is the difference between a role model and a mentor? Because a lot of people do not understand the difference. I had to learn it myself. But what is the difference between a role model and a mentor?
Okay, so I think that the difference between a role model and a mentor is a role model might not have a lot of intentional, like, let's say, activity in your life based on whatever it is that you're doing. A role model is someone that you're looking up to. It could be your parents, it could be, your parents they have active roles in how your life develops. So it could be someone, if you say like Beyonce, right? She's a nice role model for women who are looking to hard work and who are looking to achieve a lot. But a mentor is someone who you can approach to really help guide you through the process of achieving what it is that you're interested in, right? They have a much more on ground. You can probably talk to them, and they enter into that role, and so it's like a teacher to you, basically. With role models and mentors, I want to touch on something that Elo said that really struck me. You said something about how you learn by looking at things, and going back to those things is kind of going back to where you started. It's similar for me. I don't have say one particular person that I look at all the time, but I'm all over the internet. I'm looking at videos, I'm watching somebody paint that's probably dead from 200 years ago, but I'm constantly seeking for those things. So I have different role models that I cut across different fields. They're filmmakers I love. They're they're musicians I love. They're artists I love that I keep on going back to. And that activity of going to look really keeps you invigorated with the energy to keep on going and to keep on doing what it is that you are interested in. More recently, I've sought out specific people who I feel like my practice resonates with. And I used to have a big problem with asking for help. I think this is something that I think people don't usually talk about it a lot, but like it was I think sometimes you don't want to disturb somebody or you don't want to seem like you're helpless. But I've realized that really I'm not simply just an independent person. So I've started to reach out to, even if it's my contemporaries. So it's not, we're not just gisting for gist, but I would ask you about how to go on about this. Or if it's an older artist, I'd ask, okay, I'm trying to write this thing. Can you help me look at this? And you find that regardless of like, say, your own doubts that someone's willing to help, you would actually find help when you seek it. And you need to go through, you need to get used to possibly being said no to and being disagreed with, because that's, you know, whoever says no is probably who's not for you. But there is someone out there, there are things out there that are willing to open up their resources to you. And, you know, that's the way that I approach mentorship and role modelship.
All right, amazing. Femi, is Femi here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so Femi, how do you handle disappointment? I mean, there are times where you plan to create stuff, where you plan to put things together and they don't work. How do you handle disappointment? Because I mean, there's times in every creative's life when you're just there like, should I plan this thing now? Why is it not happening, right? And at that point where you just want to actually stop creating. So how do you handle disappointment? It's not creative block. I mean, you already have what you want to birth, and you get to the point where it's supposed to be executed, and then everything just flops. At those times, how do you press on?
Yeah, so I think it's just understanding that disappointments are part of the whole package. Do you understand? Like, you can't have things rosy all the time. Of course, life is filled with ups and downs. Okay, let me try and relate it to my work. Like, I think, yeah, back then when I was still actively creating content, yeah, there's some content you put out that you can spend. I realized that there were times when I would spend like an entire day, like I'll not sleep creating content, and I'll post it, and it won't really bang like that. Like, what's going on? So it can be very frustrating. Do you understand? So I think it's just knowing that as a creator.
We not hear you.
Like
we not hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I say as a creative, I feel like the joy, you should just learn to derive joy from the process of creating and not necessarily look for validation, like the comments you get and all of that. Like those are just vanity metrics.
But those comments sometimes can serve as a motivation. I mean, don't you think?
Yeah, of course they can, but it's just not wise to dwell on them. Because
okay.
So let me give you an example. So I think someone mentioned, I think Elo or Yadi mentioned that something about consistency. So back in the day, there were a group of Instagram comedians that we used to work with. A lot of them used to get a lot of engagement, but there was this guy. His name is The Real Femi. The Real Femi was the driest back in the day. Why? Because I feel like his style of comedy was different. People didn't really get it. Do you understand? But trust me, I don't know how Femi did it, but Femi didn't care. Femi kept doing his thing. And fast track to 2020, Femi is still that guy that has like the most follow. Most of the other guys back then, they've already stopped. But Femi now has a cult following. Do you understand? And why is Femi relevant now? Because Femi didn't stop. He didn't focus on maybe the views or the comments I was getting. I feel like he just enjoyed having fun on the internet, catching crews, and now he's doing well for himself today. You know, so I feel like consistency plays at the end of the day. So for every young upcoming creative out there, I won't advise that you focus so much on people's validation or people's it's good to listen to feedback, but just don't dwell much on maybe comments and likes. No, just do what you love. Just do what you love and just remain consistent at it, and just try to keep improving at your craft.
All right, so we have a question here. This one says, I have a friend that's a creative and has many talents: drawing, singing, fashion design, etc. But he hasn't been able to monetize his art or get the attention he wants. What can you advise him to do? it makes him feel very discouraged, feel really discouraged. Let's hear you. Let's hear Elo. Yeah.
Okay. So now this particular issue is very because I've lived this as well. It's a problem for a lot of creatives, yeah, how to monetize their craft. So I think that first, this is what I did in my own time, because before I went for Big Brother, I had about 25,000 followers on Instagram, right? And that is like the barest minimum for certain brands for certain brands to work with you. And I want to say barest minimum, so you can get like once a year, you can get like a job once a year. You will get invited to events. That's a lot, because people know you. They don't have to pay you to come. You get invited to all these events. You will go because at the end of the day, you have to grow your network, visibility, all that stuff. If you're thinking very critically and strategically. But like to get actual paid jobs every once in a while. So what I did was, anytime I create a video, I always try to, like, there was always strategic positioning. I was always very, very strategic about it. Like, I started creating dummy ads, spoof ads that products that don't exist. For example, I created a skit where it's called a bro app. I was advertising a bro app or a chick app. In case you don't know how to talk to a babe or a guy, the app will help you say the appropriate things. I created that video. I created a videos for SARS app, because the SARS pandemic or epidemic was there, but was crazy. So I created a video about an app that would help you avoid SARS. So creating those videos, I created those videos like I was actually selling an actual product. And I was doing it so that brands could see that, oh, this guy can actually market your product, right? And after that, some people saw it, and some people I used to work with also saw it. I'm like, hey, you create ads, right? Yes, come and shoot an ad for us. And that's how I shot my first Stanbic IBTC ad. So you have to be very, very, and after that one, I went on to shoot four other Stanbic IBTC ads. So you have to be intentional about what you're doing. So if you know how to draw, you have all these skills, yeah? And it can be a problem when you're trying to focus on one, because at the end of the day, you have to focus on something. If you try to do all these things at once, you will find out that you are growing very slowly on each of them. But if you focus on one, you would have exponential growth in that skill. So you have to be very, very intentional about how you want to make money off of these things. You can occasionally put out art or put out like your content just to entertain. But at the same time, how can a brand key into your content? How can they use your platform to grow their own brand? Do you get? That's the ultimate question. So how can they do that? So you have to figure that out by yourself based on what you're doing. But you always have to ask that question. You have to, first of all, take into cognizance your numbers, your Instagram numbers. You have to grow your following, and you can grow your following by being very, very, very consistent when it comes to your content. So the same rule still applies. You post at least 3 times a day, original content that nobody can find elsewhere. You're posting 3 times a day, and then every once in a while, you strategically put up something that a brand can key into. That's it. If a brand can't tie into it, they can't work with you. Even if you have the numbers, and a brand comes one day and says they want to advertise with you, and they advertise with you, but like it doesn't give them that much traction, you will not get work from them anymore, so to speak. So you have to be very intentional and strategic about your content. That's it. Very intentional, very strategic. Look at the likes of Mr. Macaroni, the likes of Brother Shaggy, and I will give myself also, I use myself as an example because I create videos for brands. Their work, you can actually tie in. It's a story. They make videos, they tell stories. That's what brands like to do. That's what brands like to use. Tell a story, plug us in there, we're good. Entertain the crowd, entertain everybody, pass on the message, we're good. So you have to be intentional about it. You have to be strategic about it, period.
Amazing. All right, then. Thank you very much, Elozonam. We have a question here for Femi. Femi, can we have you here? on our screen. All right. Femi, your question. Somebody has a question for you. It says, I have seen how humble you are. That's to Femi, and how you treat people. And how you treat people. So they're saying, can you emphasize the importance of people management? Because they feel it's an art and that not too many people know. So can you emphasize the importance of people management?
Okay, thanks for the compliments, first of all. So as regards people management, so like I said, my work at Cracks Media as a company, it has changed over time. I started as a social media manager to a content creator. I feel like what I do mostly now is people management. You know, so I feel like my major work now is to get the best out of all the team members. So as regards people management, I think it's just like I said, treating people how you'd love to be treated. You know, so not taking people for granted. Listening to people, yes, people love to be listened to. I feel like in a world where everyone likes to talk nowadays, it's just good when you are just that different person that loves to listen. I'm a very good listener. I love to listen. Yeah, I'm making yourself accessible. And yeah, that's basically what I do at work. At least I schedule meetings maybe every other month with the employees to listen to their problems, both at work, personal problems. I just try to be a good friend and just help. Like I said, as long as just put yourself out there and be happy to help solve people's problems, and they will give their all to you. So that's what I do. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Did you hear me clearly?
So how do you handle people? Because I know how people can be, express themselves to you, and open your door. Can you hear me?
You're breaking, but can you repeat what you just said?
Oh, I said knowing how people can be. I mean, giving people the opportunity to come, giving people the opportunity to come into your office and talk to you, not literally office, but being accessible. How do you handle people that take those things for granted? Because I know how people can be.
Well, I don't know. Like I've not. I won't say I've had a bad experience up until now. Yeah, I don't. I really can't say, but I know that it's just setting the ground rules from the very point of contact. I feel like how you present yourself kind of like dictates how people relate with you. So I just try to keep things cool, keep things professional at all times. Yeah, just setting the boundaries from the very beginning.
Amazing. All right. So can we have Yadi back?
We're here. I'm here.
Hi, Yadi.
Hello.
So how do you relax? How do you relax? I mean, your mind is what is functioning, right? How do you put your mind to rest? Yeah.
So I have, well, luckily everything that I do is kind of everything that I enjoy. So it's not, if I'm painting, and it's as much work, but also like a lot of play for me. For relaxation, I like to, recently I've been learning how to play the piano. So I've been really into that. I like to read. I like to listen to podcasts. There's a lot of stuff out there. I like to really get philosophical and spiritual. So that's my relaxation place. Somehow my mind is that place that likes to kind of be on the go, not too heavily, but like it wants to keep on like thinking about something. It could be a splash of paint or something. It could be a question of our existence. But I relax by engaging it on a very subtle plane like that. I like to be around friends. I like conversations. Those things kind of just help me settle into myself, as opposed to like when it's work mode and I have to deliver something one thing to another. Yeah, I just
amazing.
In a lot of problems still. To relax.
All right, so Elozonam, I want to ask you. This is a very, very important question, right? I mean, your job isn't 9 to 5. There's literally no time frame except you have like a what's that thing called, like a deadline to meet for a production. There's literally for personal content that kept you to this point. There's literally no time slot to have it. So how did you structure yourself? How did you put yourself together? That's a very important question. I think I also have a problem with this as well. So I'm asking for my own self. So how did you structure yourself? How did you put things together and say, okay, not 9 to 5, but I mean, yeah.
Okay, so I started putting out content in 2017. And I remember that it was, I always had a particular day that I'd worked towards. So it was always every Sundays, right? So I was always putting out content every Sundays because of the 9 to 5 experience and the, on, how would I put it? The deadlines are actually helpful. It's good for you to be able to build consistency. So once I set my mind, okay, I'm going to be releasing content on Sundays, I started bringing out content on Sundays very consistently. So I always treat it like work, even though it's something I love to do. I always treat it like work. I always take it very seriously, and I know, okay, you know what? Every Sundays I have to put out something. Something has to come out every Sunday. So I put in the effort during the week, shoot, film, then go back home, edit in time for Sunday. So every Sunday is now, or back then I put out content. Now it's every Friday. I'm hosting a TV show called The Cliffhanger, and in this work you have to take it seriously. Like there's no other way. You have to take it seriously. Like, okay, so for the current content I'm putting out consistently, it's called The Cliffhanger. It's a talk show, and the talk show also has an artistry segment where I've gotten upcoming talents and people who, you know, artists that you guys already know, to actually perform live band while we shoot them. So it was an audiovisual experience, and we recorded 26 artists in 6 days. So we shot 26 music videos in 6 days. Now, to tell you how seriously we took it, it was an entire production crew. So there were 3 DOPs. For those of you who don't know, is director of photography, cameramen at the end of the day. 3 DOPs, the editor was on set, 2 producers, myself and my manager included, the location guys, the sound engineer. It was an entire production, 6 days. After the 6 days, after we finished recording, and in between that time, I also had to appear on a TV series. So some days I'll be off. So after we finished filming, we all fell sick. That's how seriously you have to take this thing. We all fell ill for about a few days. So we took a break for a few days. That's how seriously you have to take this thing. If you want to go this route, it's easy to fall off because there's nobody checking you. There's nobody making sure that you're doing the work. You have to check yourself. You have to take it very seriously. You have to know that this road you're on your own. Oh, and if you're going to eat, it depends on how seriously you take the work. To be very honest. So we took it so seriously, we fell sick, and we took a few days off, and then we continued. Because we understand that this thing we're doing is bigger than all of us individually. It's bigger than, so you have to know that your craft, whatever it is you're doing, is bigger than you. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to make it for you to enjoy on your own system or by your own. It's for the world to see. It's out there for the world to see. So it's inherently bigger than you. You have to take it seriously, for real, and you have to understand. And it's a mental thing. You have to get your mind right. Because when I started, I just said, you know what, Elo, this is going to be tough. Think of the toughest thing it is for a creator to do, which is to grow a YouTube channel. It's one of the toughest things to do, right? People that are making money today is because they've put in work 6 years ago on YouTube. Think about it. Have that YouTube mentality. Yeah, have the YouTube mentality, knowing that, okay, you know what, this is going to take a while. I need time and consistency to build whatever it is I need to build. And you cannot be consistent without being serious. Consistency will lead to your growth because you're going to keep doing it every time. You're going to keep learning, and so consistency will lead to your growth. You need time and consistency. You have to take it extremely seriously. Have fun with it, but be very serious about it. Even if it kills you. But it won't kill you.
Amazing. It won't kill you. It will not kill you. It's work.
It won't kill you.
It will never kill you.
It won't kill you.
Right.
It won't kill you.
Yeah. All right. So can we have Femi here? Femi. All right. So Femi, at what point would you say that you have gotten to the top? At what point do you say, okay, yes, I'm here now. Let me just hold on. Let me just chill. What point is that?
So what you need to understand is there's no such thing as a top because every other person is not sleeping. Do you understand? So wherever if you've gotten into, people are striving to get there, and when everyone is at the same place, there's no longer a top. Do you understand? So I don't know. We just have to keep pushing frontiers. I mean, me personally, I'll say I'm insatiable. I don't know. I just always see room for improvement. I always see room for. I said that's why I don't rest on my own. So you just can't afford to relax. There's no such thing as a top. Do you understand? Yeah, just like every football season. Do you understand? It's a yearly thing for us. I feel like in every industry too. Like every football season. So after the league is won, there's a new season and we'll start all over again. So I feel like that's the mentality we all need to apply to our lives. You know, so like I said, so yeah, it's like Crack TV, for example. I know how we did in 2016, I know how we did in 2017, I know how we did in 2018. So the goal is to try to do our best to be relevant and dominate every year after year. So that way, 20 years down the line, 40 years. I feel like so it's people. I feel like down the line, it's history that would determine who was top and who was not the players themselves. So that's
very nice one. All right, Elozonam, same question, please. At what point would you say, "Oh, yeah, I'm there. I think I should just hold on."
Okay, so like, no, I'm sorry, but there's never that point because human beings naturally are just insatiable, to be very honest. So if you get, some people will look at you and say, man, guy, you have blown. I want to be where you are. But you are looking at yourself like, what's this person even talking about? What blew me? I'm still trying to get somewhere. You get. So I think the top is relative for everybody, yeah? Because who's making headway, you're constantly putting in work, you still have a long way to go. Because you can still be better than the current version of yourself. Somebody else who is not where you are will look at you and say, man, you are the top or you are the top. But like to them, that's your top. But to you, no. Okay, let's take a look at the greats. Michael Jackson reached Michael Jackson was like one of the greatest artists of all time. He reached but I'm sure to himself, he hadn't really because he was going to do a world-class, one hell of a concert before he died. To him, that was going to be like the ultimate when he was 50 something. Do you get? So like you never get to the top. You get to the top, you get to a certain level of your game, to the height of your game, but you never, I don't think there's a top. There's no top. You can always be better. You can always be better.
Be better. All right, yeah, same to you. Yadi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you repeat what you said?
I said same question to you. Like, at what point do you say, "Oh, I'm going to stop painting. I'm going to stop working"?
Wow. Yeah. With the same way Elo started, no, there's no talk, really and truly. And I also really believe in the fact that the top is relative. For each individual, yes, there are systems of, okay, you enter a job, there's this ladder to climb, you can get promoted to here and there. But in life in general, you really have to come to a point where you define for yourself what keeps you going, like what your own success is, what that ladder is. And that has to be something that's infinite in a sense, so that you don't get to a point where you're like, oh, I finally finished all this now, painted 1,000 paintings, and that's it. What then will you do the rest of your time, in a sense? So I feel like you just have to keep on going. You keep on going, you keep on asking questions. You keep on, like, the world is moving. There are babies born every now and then, quite frequently. So that gives you the idea that, something is happening and you can't stop. There's no need to say, oh, okay, here's where I am and this is enough, But at the same time, for your own self, if you're trying to say there's anything as enough, keep it for yourself, right? It's not a competition in a sense with life. It's not a competition with people around you, but you really have to be conscious of like where you are and understand that there is still possibility ahead of you time after time after time again.
Amazing, amazing. Right, so Femi, same question. We're gradually rounding up. If you have any questions, please send in your questions and we can ask. We have about 9 minutes to go. Yeah. So Femi.
You just answered.
Lanre, I already answered the question.
Yeah.
If there's, oh yeah. Sorry. All right. So I like to, whenever I speak to creatives, right, I like to ask this question just to motivate other people, right? Not because I want you guys to brag or anything, but whenever I speak to creatives, I just put this question just to make people understand that, in as much as you know, there is the popularity that comes with it, there's also the very serious side, which is the money side, the business side of it. All right, so I'm going to start with Elozonam. Elozonam, you have worked with Stanbic IBTC. I know that you've worked with MultiChoice as well. What is the highest amount you've ever been paid for a job? Okay, so that's the question I'm asking everybody. That question is going around. So we just want to know, not because of anything, just so we can know that, yeah, when you get to a certain point, if you do these things that we've said, consistency, being intentional, if you do all these things, right, there is a price waiting for you at the end. So Elozonam, what is the highest you ever
So on a single project, it would yes, on a single project about 5M on a single project.
5 million. That's like that was like your workmanship money.
So not exactly workmanship money, no, because like I work with an entire team. It's a company effort. So I can't say, oh yeah, so if I say profits after tax,
yes,
3M.
That's what I'm
talking on a single project, 3M. Yes.
Whoa, amazing. So 3M, for those of you who don't know what 3M is, it's 3 million. 3 million naira. It's not talking 3, I don't know, but it's 3 million naira. All right, thank you very much, Elu. And this is from producing content, right? From producing, directing, creating content.
Yes, yeah.
All right, amazing. Let's have Yadi here. Tell us.
I don't really like all these money talks. I feel like
I know. Just tell us. It's just to motivate people.
So I've created a body of work that was shown and someone bought it out, and that was 2 million. And that was very encouraging for me. These were paintings, and the paintings that I made were a collage of my water damaged sketchbooks. So the water had destroyed them, and I was sad, and I put them together into a collage and made this series of work, this body of work that I called self-preservation. And someone got that out. That was really encouraging.
How much did they buy it?
I just said 2 million now.
2 million. Okay. Wow, that's huge. All right, so Femi. I know.
It varies. It varies, to be honest. So I'll say between 1 to 2 million. I can't really put a figure to it. It varies because people come with different jobs and all that. I'll say maybe 2 million thereabout.
2 million. Amazing. How consistent? How consistent is this 2 million?
Oh no, it's not consistent. Trust me. All those 2 million jobs are like once in a while. The regular revenue is from advertising. So people pay us to post on our platforms. Yeah, those are the regular ones. But then the 2 millions come from people that want like a full blown campaign. Like you run a campaign for them. Yeah, that's where the money is. That's where agencies make a lot of money.
Amazing. All right, so finally we have just 5 minutes to go, but after this, please, all the speakers, please wait behind. Every other person can leave, but all the speakers, please wait behind so we can have a conversation with the convener of the event. All right, so Femi, final words before we go. We have just 5 minutes more.
Final word. Trust me, there's no one doing any magic out there. It's us. We all follow the same principles, more or less. You get consistency, in particular. Just believing in yourself, putting in the work, and yeah, just owning your skills, discovering your passion. Like this life is just it's an endless journey of discovering yourself. So you just have to devote your life to discovering yourself and also trying to impact society positively. So yeah, I'm rooting for you, and I hope you get to your desired destination.
Right. Yeah, Elozonam.
Okay, so final words. There's no shortcut to success. Don't be tensioned by what you see on Instagram. Don't be tensioned by what you see on Instagram. People who you see seemingly that are seemingly successful have put in the work. There's no to be about it. They've put in the work and they've earned the right to flex. So you have to earn your right to flex by putting in the work, and know that the work never stops. The work as an entrepreneur, as a creative, the work stops when you're dead. To be very, very honest, or when you decide to another path. Do you understand? So, stay true to yourself. Treat people with respect. Explore. And when you start making money, when you start being successful, don't forget to stop and smell the roses and enjoy yourself.
Amazing. All right, Yadi.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I was going to say the shortcut thing. I think especially because of where we are, like Nigeria is a very fast country. I mean, based in Lagos, everywhere is very fast. You don't stop at red lights, we move past it. That's what is preached, basically. But I think on understanding the long-term goal, understanding that you have time ahead of you, and that when you put in effort, that builds, and you see the results at the end of the road. You can't take a shortcut to something. You can't see somebody else doing well, and then you're like, oh, you just want to get it. You don't know what they've been through. It's a whole journey, and you need to be able to trust that. You also need to be able to give your work love, and that love means time, patience, effort, consistency. You need to be able to really enjoy it and get into it, as if no, if you didn't do it today, you might lose your breath. Just keep on going, in a sense.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much, Yadi. Thank you very much to all our speakers, Femi, Bakre, Elozonam, and Yadi. It's been amazing having this conversation with you people. And I hope that everyone who's joining has been inspired in whatever way, all right? I'm going to, round this up by saying, trust the process. Like, trust your time, understand your phase, and enjoy that time and phase, and trust the process, and learn. Like, literally take notes. Like, that's what I skipped taking notes. So and now I started taking notes. So take notes, literally write things down, and don't stop reading. Don't stop. Keep reading, keep researching, keep opening your mind up to new ideas and broaden your horizon. Very, very open-minded, right? And be selective in the knowledge that you gather. Don't go and be running up and down with all the knowledge. All right? Stay blessed. And we hope to see you. We hope this happens in real life, so we can have like a proper conversation. We can't wait for COVID to leave so that we can all see each other and have a nice time. All right? God bless you.
Thank you so much,
everyone. You can leave now. But please, can we have the speakers wait behind? The convener of the event was to have a conversation with us. All right, as they go, let me just read the message. This one says, thank you. As probably when Elozonam was talking. This one says, it was truly awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Nita, all right. Thank you very much, Anita. Shout out to Elozonam, always a fave. This one is from Sambuli. Says, thank you. It was amazing. All right. Who else is sending messages? All right. I guess that all, and we can leave. Or the host can remove them. The host can remove the people.
Yeah? I'm doing something. All right.
So, hello everyone.
Hi.
I think, hello, that was a really, really awesome 2 hours. I don't know. I think maybe if you'd listen to it, you'd really understand. Very inspirational. I had some of my older friends on here, and so the comments I got was, this is so good. It needs to be bigger. You need to, it's not branded. Well, those things I don't know anything about. But I think the most important thing for me is we didn't have as many children as I wanted. So how do we now put this out there? I don't know. I'm not a tech person, beyond the fact that I know that tech is the future. How can we put this out there so that we can get a lot of younger people to actually listen to this? Because you were really all very inspirational, honestly. I think if I could put back the clock like 40 years, 45, it would have been made a lot of difference to my life. And I think you have a message for the young children that they need to hear. So I wanted you to help me figure that out, because I don't want you to just go away from here and feel that you've done the assignment, but the assignment has to be heard. And that is a space that I just don't know how to, I don't know what to do with this beyond what we've done so far. So help me out.
Okay, so I don't know if, like, I mean, the original problem was because of the fact that kids were already running back to school and prepping and everything. So I know that this session has been recorded. So I feel like another session can be had, but this can be played back for them. So
okay.
At another time when you're sure that these kids would be able to sign in, then we can play this session back for them, and they can watch it.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
Also,